Let's talk about the India Inc. perception as far as the political campaigning for Lok Sabha elections are concerned, and what India Inc. really wants and hopes to see as the campaign progresses and we hit polling about a month from now. Adi Godrej is chairman at the Godrej Group. He's joining us right now to take some questions. Sir, thanks very much. It's always a pleasure to welcome you here on NDTV. Prashant this side. Do you think expectations from the new government, and let's just say the new government without naming formations, etc., that we will see quick fixes on economy? Let me ask you, are they there, those expectations? If they're there, how strong are those hopes and expectations? And thirdly, do you believe they're correct, expecting quick fixes?
No, I think if we get a growth-oriented government, I think things can change for the positive very quickly. And some of the pronouncements of some of the parties who are fighting this election seem very positive to me. So if we get a growth-oriented government, I think things in India could change quite fast and for the better.
Right. Most governments claim to be growth-oriented, so there is no real differentiation there. My question is that irrespective of who comes to power, are expectations running very high? I mean, in a way, it's similar to when Mr. Chidambaram took office in the middle of 2012, that the economy will be fixed very quickly and we'll be back to the growth path. A lot was done, but the underlying takes time to improve.
Well, I think the very important thing is to have a growth-oriented government. Clearly, there are very many things the government can do very quickly to get India back on an 8% growth path. For example, if you pass the GST at an early date, and that's quite possible in my view, because if the government cooperates with the opposition, it can be done very quickly. It'll add 2 percentage points to GDP growth, other things being equal. If we can take strong action to see that the tax department's unfair dealings with many foreign companies and with some Indian companies is corrected, I think again that can create a very positive impact. I think if ease of doing business in India is restored, it has deteriorated quite a lot. I think that could have a positive effect. So there are many things a new government could do which can be very productive in terms of GDP growth in a short period of time.
In a short period of time. So you believe it can be done. Is the comparison correct of Mr. Chidambaram and hopes when he returned to the finance ministry in the current avatar, hopes then and hopes for the economy then? A lot was done and it has had its effect. But just at the cost of repetition, the underlying economy and the rate of growth takes time to turn around. I mean, that's the fact.
No, I don't agree with you at all. For example, if, as I told you, if GST is passed at an early stage, it will add 2 percentage points almost immediately to GDP growth rate. So there are many things. Now, what Mr. Chidambaram has done, which has been good for the economy, is to contain the fiscal deficit, to contain the current account deficit. That has created a positive sentiment. But these are things that will take time in terms of creating growth. But there are some of the things which I mentioned earlier. If those are done quickly, it will add very quickly to GDP growth being accelerated.
Growth-oriented government. What about interest rates, sir? Because, focus is on growth, not on inflation so much and interest rates. So what would India Inc. be telling the new government? Right? Because governments do get influenced by pressure by business groups, etc. The RBI has been telling India Inc., please bear with us. We need to bring inflation down, bring it to a sustainable level. Only then sustainable growth is possible. What would you be telling the new government? And what would your expectations be from the new government?
Well, I think inflation is already getting under control. WPI now has come down to around a 5% level. CPI is still a little higher but coming down. I think the food prices, especially vegetable prices, have started declining quite considerably. That should bring into control the CPI too. Global commodity prices are expected to come down because the Chinese economy is not doing too well. The crisis in Ukraine seems to have been diffused, so I think crude oil prices will also come down. So overall, I think the setting is that inflation will come down and then interest rates will come down. So I expect interest rates to be contained within the next 4 to 6 months.
How would the industry look at subsidies? I mean, we'll get manifestos from big political parties. We've got some, we'll get more. But what would you be looking for? Because that's one area which politicians will find it very hard to control. Essentially, controlling freebies, cutting back on freebies. What would you like to see?
No, I don't think so. I think very clearly all governments have realized now, all political parties have realized that having good policies is much more important than doing things which favor one or two business groups. I think that will be borne in mind. I think corruption levels in India will come down. I think most political parties have realized that it's important for the electoral prospects. So overall, I am quite optimistic that the right policies will be followed, ease of doing business in India will improve, and all that will add to strong GDP growth. And I expect an 8% plus growth rate will be restored in India at an early date.
At an early stage, okay. You remain very, very bullish as far as growth goes. I want to talk about some specific things where Godrej, of course, is a big player as well. Consumer sector, sir. What do you make of the demand right now? And what kind of impact are you seeing of high and persistent inflation on consumer demand? What are the broad trends that you're seeing across segments that you operate in?
Well, Q3 did demonstrate a slowdown in fast-moving consumer goods. For example, our company's growth rate was down to about 13% in Q3 in the domestic market and 17% consolidated overall globally, which is slower than in the past. Clearly, the negative perceptions on the economy, the slowdown in growth rate have affected consumer sentiment, but I see it changing quite rapidly. I expect consumer demand will start improving very soon. And if the election results are positive in terms of growth-oriented government, I see consumer demand will also start growing very rapidly thereafter. So I expect generally that the FMCG sector will do much better in 14-15 than it did in 13-14.
Specifically, sir, prices of inputs like palm oil, milk, and many other inputs, etc., have gone up quite a bit. I mean, actually, the phenomenon has been there for a while. We've seen some jumps recently as well. What's the sense? How is industry broadly going to respond to these things? Will the industry absorb the hike, increase in prices, or is it in a position to pass it on to consumers and consumers?
No, I don't believe so. You mentioned about palm oil prices going up. That is true. But the soap industry across the board has passed them on to the consumers. I don't see that happening. I think margins will be maintained. And as I said, as sentiment improves, if a good government is in place, I think things will change dramatically and growth rates will improve both in terms of sales and profit.
What is the impact that you've seen so far, sir, on that same point?
Well, in the last couple of months, some currencies such as the Argentine peso and the South African rand have depreciated. But on the other hand, a major country in which we operate, Indonesia, the Indonesian rupiah has appreciated over the last couple of months. The Indian rupee has appreciated. So overall, in currency terms, our company is well placed. And we don't expect that to affect our growth rates or our margins. And we expect that in the next financial year, as I mentioned, both our top line growth rates and bottom line growth rates will improve.
Since you spoke about currency and how you're placed, I just want your sense broadly as well. So, if you see another wave of risk off globally, do you think the rupee, India, we are no longer, the rupee is no longer a fragile currency? You got the current account deficit numbers yesterday. So it's out of the fragile currency club. Or, focus will very much still be on the rupee because, things which have controlled the current account deficit are compression in gold imports, which may not work forever. And non-gold imports are very difficult to compress. So hence you're dependent completely on the export market. What's your sense, sir?
Yes, I think India is in a very good position. 2 or 3 things which are happening globally can be leveraged. China's wage rates in the eastern part of China have been rising. China's manufacturing competitiveness is reducing. India could take up a lot of that manufacturing with good policies. That could be leveraged very well. And I think the Reserve Bank governor has had very good policies in terms of containing depreciation of the rupee, which has paid strong dividends. We could leverage that. And as I mentioned, with a good government policy, passing the right legislations and bringing in improvements in ease of doing business in India, India could flourish. And in fact, it's quite feasible that with a good government, the next 5 years could be some of our best years in terms of economic growth.
So thanks very much. Appreciate you joining in. Good talking to you as always. Adi Godrej, Chairman at Godrej Group, with his thoughts on politics and of course a bit about the economy as well, consumer demand in specific. Let's take a break. We are back in 2, more on the other side. Markets are holding up 27, 28 points or so far.